Life is part of love, and love is part of life. And if you open your heart and love somebody, you can open it broad and love everybody, but you can't love if you're a coward. They talk about manhood. If you're running around posing and posturing, saying one thing and doing something else. They talk about manhood. If deep down you're really scared and intimidated and walking around laughing when it ain't funny and scratching when it don't itch. The language of the great poet Lawrence Dunbar from Funk City, Dayton, Ohio. Sugar foot, Ohio. Fantastic voice. Yes. Same shit. But what did the great Lawrence Dunbar say? Too many black folk and too many black men especially wearing the mask. Wearing the mask. And then here comes the genius from Harlem. Me and I hate to live on 110th Street, Columbus. I know we shouldn't say that with all these death threats, but I'm a Christian, so I got the armor. I read the truth. What did James Baldwin say? Love forces us to take off the mask. We know we cannot live with it, but fear we cannot live without. And one of the fundamental challenges to be a black man in America for 400 years, think of the great poem of Sterling Brown. Sterling Brown was a student of Mary Baraka. Let us never forget the great Mary Baraka. He was a teacher of Toni Morris. So many others. What did Sterling Brown say in 1932 in his great classic Southern Road called Strong Men? I want each and every one of the brothers, I don't care what age you are, what color you look, but we always start on the chocolate side though now. I get to the vanilla too, right? I get to the bottom, I get in and get these people to the know. Wrote a poem called Strong Men Keep On Coming. Yes, sir. Strong men keep on coming. That's just not a poem. That's a life lived. It raises the most fundamental question of what does it mean to be human in space and time? What does it mean to be a featherless, two-legged, linguistically conscious creature born between urine and feces? That's who we are. We all emerge in the funk of our mama's womb. That's why George Clinton, my brother Bootsy, I blessed to write 2 songs with James Brown and Dak in the Blazers and so many funk masters. Take us where we need to go, which is where? To get the courage to break the back of fear. Because the fundamental challenge of the black man has always been you came as an African with dignity and white supremacy tried to niggerize you. Oh, that's a fundamental challenge. Show up on the boat from Africa. Tremendous self-confidence and self-respect. But you've been sold into slavery and you're taken to the slave auction and on the plantation and all the vicious white supremacist lies bombard you every day telling you you're less beautiful, you're less intelligent, you're less moral, and most importantly, trying to keep you so scared and fearful and intimidated you don't straighten your back up and think for yourself and love for yourself and laugh for yourself. Why you start things off from Mississippi? Mississippi ground zero. That's the delta. We start to the delta. What is it about the delta? The delta created the greatest genre of art in the 20th century, which is the blues. And the blues is part of the greatest tradition in the modern world, which is black music. There is no other tradition that has the highest levels of greatness when it comes to artistic creativity, when it comes to moral courage, when it comes to spiritual fortitude. Yes, sir. To allow people not to allow despair to have the last word. Black people have always had to come to terms with how will we respond to catastrophe. Yes, sir. And the blues ain't nothing but catastrophe lyrically expressed. Nobody loves me but my mama, and she might be jiving too. That's me. That's the B side of the thrill is gone. Don't let anybody ever tell you that America has a race problem. No, there have been catastrophes of viciousness visited upon black people. Don't confuse the problematic with the catastrophic. Anybody who's talking about a race problem has already deodorized the funk. Thank God for Bobby Womack. They've already sanitized it. They've already sterilized it, so it's that superficial stuff of race relations. No, we're talking about a people who are enslaved and terrorized and lynched and degraded and demeaned and told they're less than human by every major authority in the culture, from science and church and mosque and synagogue and mass media. That ain't no motherfucking problem. That's a catastrophe. Marcus Garvey understood. Minded people and do what you will. That's what Fannie Lou Hamer understood. That's what Mary Ellen Pleasant, y'all know Sister Mary Ellen Pleasant, was the first black woman who was a millionaire. Gave John Brown $600,000 in 1857 when he was executed. She had the note from her in her pocket. She's from San Francisco. Married Robert Barrett, he dropped dead, she got the money. Oh, the Lord works in mysterious ways. What did she do with her money? She created centers for poor folk, for the addicted. She created centers for women dealing with domestic violence of cowardly brothers. Oh yes, that's Mary Ann Pleasant. But she would begin every talk saying, I'd rather be a corpse than a coward. Than a coward. That's what Brother Martin used to say, echoing her, I'd rather be dead than afraid. And as long as black men walking around acting like they big and bad, but when it's time to meet the test, you can't find some of them. When it's time to take a stand and straighten your back up, they got something else to do. We still love them. You see, I don't love black people in order for black people to love me back. I learned that from Irene B. West and Clifton West. I learned that from Shiloh Baptist Church of Willie P. Cook and Deacon Hinton and Sarah Ray, my vacation Bible school teacher. You're right and wrong. Stand as a midget standing tall and the giant beside him about to fall. Stand. There's a cross for you to bear. Things to go through if you're going anywhere. When you think of manhood and power, think of Martin Luther King Jr. in the paddy wagon in the dark with the German shepherd from Atlanta on his way to Reedsville prison all by himself. Daddy King told me when Brother Mark got out, Mark, you know what I'm talking about. You had an SCLC and so many things. Mark couldn't even walk a straight line. Daddy King cried for his son. First thing the Lord said, this is the cross we must bear for the freedom of our people. That's love. That's courage. That's not talking about hope. That's being a hope. And the first voice he wanted to hear was who? The genius from New Orleans, the genius from Chicago, Mahalia Jackson. He needed Mahalia's music. Sing a little precious Lord of Thomas Dorsey coming out of Pilgrim's Baptist Church on the chocolate side of Chicago. I got to have some power. I don't think I can make it, but oh, if I can still take my back up. Yes, that's the standard. All of us don't have to meet that standard. I know I can't meet that standard. Oh no, not me. I got too much gangster in me. Preacher, Bishop. Hard enough for the Lord to use a crack vessel like me from the pew. I like the nightclub too much. I'm going to be true to Jesus. I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to be true to Irene and Clifton. I'm going to be true to Reverend Cook. I'm going to be true to Martin and Malcolm. Not because they're some kind of hero that's abstract. They are inside of me, giving all of my crack vessels as a black man trying to create whatever example and witness I can to empower others. And the last thing I ever want to be is some peacock walking around. Look at me, look at me. I went to this school. I'm the first X. I'm the second Y. No, peacock struck because they can't fly. Understand what it means to have style, with a smile, and a great tradition of a great people in humility. Because our anthem is what? Lift every voice, not lift every echo. You can't be great if you're just an imitation and a copy of somebody else. You got to find yourself. Each and every one of you, just like your fingerprint, you got a voice. Oh, I'm gonna get a little Christian here. God can use courageous voices right now. These are grim times. These are dim times. This ain't nothing new for black people. If we straighten our backs up and with a vision and a willingness to fight for the least of these, for poor working people here and around the world, we shall see that caravan of love that the Isley brothers sing about, and the love train of the OJs, and the love supreme of John Coltrane, and not just songs, but they put in action through the manhood plan for empowerment.